Today we are going to learn about the queen in chess. While the queen may not be the most important piece in the game, but it certainly is the most powerful piece on the board. And the reason why I say this is because just like the king, the queen can move into all 8 directions. It can go up, it can go down, it can go right, it can go left, it can go on any of the diagonals that it is controlling. But the only difference being that unlike the king, it doesn't travel just one square. It can travel till the edge of the board in any direction. And because it is the only chess piece that controls the maximum number of squares on the chessboard when it is placed in the center of the board, it is therefore considered to be the most powerful piece in the game. When the queen is sitting in one of the center squares, it can control a total number of 27 squares out of the 64 squares of the chessboard. That's about 42% of the area on the chessboard. Now let's see how the queen moves. So as said earlier, the queen can move in any direction on the board for the shortest distance or for as long as she wishes to travel. So from here, the queen can come straight down to this square, and then she can travel diagonally to this square, or she can go straight up to this square, or travel left to this square, go downwards to this square, or go right to this square, and so on. So if you observe closely, this queen here moves like a rook and a bishop. Just like the rook, she can travel straight, either up, down, right or left, and just like this bishop, she can travel anywhere on the diagonals. So because she walks like a rook and a bishop, that is why it is said that she combines the power of a rook and a bishop, and she is more powerful in the game against these two chess pieces combined together. So let's say my queen is sitting here, and from here she wants to go to this square. How she will go? Well, there are many routes possible on this chessboard, but here we are only going to talk about the shortest route possible. So one route is that she can first go to this square, and then from here she can go to this square, correct? Or the second route would be first she can go to this square, and then from here she can go to this square. So these are the two shortest routes possible. Let's look at one more example. So let's say my queen is sitting here and she wants to go to this destination square. Then how she will go? Let's look at the shortest routes possible. So the first route is that she can go to this square, and then in the second turn she can reach this destination square over here. The second route would be she can go to this square. From there in the second turn she can go to this square. Third route would be, I'm sure most of you must have missed it, that she can first go to this square, and then from here she can reach this destination square. And the fourth route would be she can first go to this square, and from there she can go to this square. So as you can see, there are 4 shortest routes available to the queen to reach this destination square. All of these 4 routes takes just 2 moves to reach where she wants to. Now, if in the same example, if I place the king over here, then how many shortest routes are possible? Well, in this case, there would be only 3 routes. One would be this, second would be this, and third would be this. Because if the queen tries to go via this route, reaching first here, and then on this route she gets blocked by the king, and queen can never jump over any other piece on the chessboard. So because this route is blocked, she might have to take another route like this. So the route will get longer. It will take more turns for the queen to reach this destination square. Now let's place this king over here. And now this queen wants to go to this square. How she will go? Well, obviously it cannot jump over this piece. So there are 3 ways to reach this destination square. First way is to go to this square first and then to this one. Second would be going to this square first and then to this one. And the third way would be the king will have to get out of this path of the queen, and then in the second turn she can go to this square. So all of these 3 ways that we saw would take queen only 2 moves to reach this destination square. Now let's look at some of the quick facts of the queen which you should not miss out on. So first of all, both the players get 1 queen in the game, and in the starting position of the game, both of these queens sit on the same color as its piece color. So the white queen sits on this row, the first row, and the black queen would sit on the 8th row. But where exactly? So, because the king and queen are the most important in the game, they sit in the center. So, the center squares are these two. But where will the queen sit? So, the queen always sits on the same color square as the color of her dress. So, because this queen is wearing a white dress or because this queen is white, she will sit on this white square. Similarly, this black queen will sit on this square. So, the light color queen sits on the light colored square and the dark color queen sits on a dark colored square. So, this is the starting position of both the queens. And as you can see, the queen is wearing a crown over here. So, it's very easy to identify her in her entire army. All other chess pieces are different except these two, that they are wearing a big crown on their head. So, it's easy to identify that these two pieces are the queen. If you are playing chess offline, the queen would generally be one of the taller pieces and she would be wearing a similar big crown. In a game of chess, a queen is valued at 9 points, which is the highest among her army because of her ability to control more squares in all the directions. Now, this doesn't mean that if a player loses a queen in the game and if he loses 9 points, that doesn't mean that he's going to lose the game. This point system is just a relative value of each piece as compared to the other chess pieces in the army, so that you can understand how powerful a particular piece is based on the numeric point it has got. So, because a rook is given 5 points and the queen is given 9 points, you know that a queen is almost double in power when compared to a rook. So that's the whole idea of giving point system to each of the chess pieces. We will discuss this concept more in detail in our upcoming videos. Before I show you how the queen captures enemy pieces on the chessboard, I want you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also check out the amazing membership programs that I have for you. And now we will learn how a queen captures other pieces on the chessboard. So now let's see this example from the white's perspective. Meaning, if you are playing as white, then what all enemy pieces can you capture on this board? So if an enemy piece is standing in one of the squares that the queen controls, then the queen can capture that particular piece. From here, as you can see, that she is able to control these squares. All of these squares. Notice that the queen cannot control this or this square because those squares are being blocked by this enemy piece sitting over here. So, the queen can control only up to this square. And as you can see on the board that there are two enemy pieces that are sitting on the squares that she is controlling. So, the queen can decide to capture any one of these pieces. Let's say the queen captures this one. So when the queen now captures this piece, that piece would move out of the board and black player would now will have to play without that piece. Now from here again we will draw arrows to see which all squares she is able to control. And as you can see, 1, 2 and 3. These 3 pieces are sitting on the squares that she is able to control. So she can capture any one of these chess pieces. Let's say she captures this. Now after coming here, these are the squares that she is controlling. And as you can see, there is no enemy piece sitting on any of these squares. So now the queen cannot capture any of these pieces. Also, one important thing to learn is that in one turn you can capture only one piece. You cannot just go on capturing multiple pieces in one turn. So it will be your turn and then it will be your opponent's turn. Again you will get a turn, again your opponent will get a turn, and so on. And this is how a chess game is played. So in every turn you have to decide which piece you want to capture, or you don't want to capture, or you just want to make a normal queen move, or you want to play something else. All of these things we will learn in detail in our upcoming videos. And before I sign off, I want you to answer this question. So a queen is equivalent to which two chess pieces on the board? Is it the rook and the knight, or is it the rook and the bishop? Give your answers in the comments box and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.